Hi, and welcome to the tutorial for the Crux Squarespace template. Thank you guys so much for purchasing it. I hope that you love it and that these videos are helpful. So this is the first tutorial video on how to set up your new template. So this is Squarespace. When you log in, this is what you'll see. If you already have a website, it'll be right here. If not, you'll have to go to create a site up here. But after you do that, your website will be right here. So I'm gonna click on mine. And the first thing that you're going to have to do is to install the template that we're going to be starting with. So if you go over here to the left, go to Design and Template. So Brine is the one that we need to be using. I have it installed already, but if you do not, go to Install New Template. And then up here, you can just search Brine. And there it is. So you're going to hit Start with Brine. Okay, I'm getting this message because I already have it installed, but if you don't, you won't get that. So then it'll be right here, and this is what your site should look like. Okay, so next we're gonna go hit that back arrow and go home and go over to pages. So all these demo pages are basically just the example ones that come with this template. So you're just going to go through and delete all of them. If you click this little trash can icon here, so for this first homepage, if you try to click it, it's going to tell you can't do it because it's your homepage. So what you can do is go through all these and delete them individually, but because that's going to take a lot longer, I'm going to show you a different way to do it. So if you go up to primary navigation, click this little plus, and go over to index and make another index called home. Then click this little gear icon and go down here to set as home page, confirm, and now this is your new home page. So now you can go down here and delete this old one. All right, so that's just a little bit faster that way. So you're just going to go through and delete every demo page. Alrighty, and then when you are done with that, you're just going to have a blank website so we can start fresh. Okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is build the pages over here. So in your downloads, there's a folder called Pages, and in there are 3 screenshots called Primary, Secondary, and then the Not Linked. So I'm going to open the primary navigation first, and I like to move it over to the left here and then just move my Chrome browser a little bit so that I can have both open at the same time and not go back and forth. So we're going to start building these out. So you see we already have this home index here. So the next section is the homepage gallery. So these are all going under the index. So there are 2 ways to do that. One is to click Add Section here. And since our first page is going to be a gallery, make sure that you choose Gallery there. And then you click this gear icon. And I'm going to rename it to Homepage Gallery. And then just copy and paste that into all 3 of these sections. Okay, so that's one way. Another way to add pages here is to click this plus sign by primary navigation. And then our next page is introduction, and that one is a blank page. So we're going to choose layouts blank and call that introduction. So the difference is when you add a section here, it'll add the section and then you have to go and hit that gear icon and rename it. Whereas if you add it here, it gives you the option to rename it right away. And it fills in all 3 of these with that name. So I think that's just a little bit faster and easier, but then you do just have to move it down. So whatever works for you is fine. I think that way is easier. But one thing to note is when you're naming all these pages, make sure that you're naming it the same as mine. So this one, make sure you call it introduction, especially the URL slug. The URL slug is the one that matters because when we're working with the CSS code, some of the code corresponds to this URL slug. So if it doesn't match, you're not going to get the same results. So you can go in and change it later once you're a little bit more familiar with the theme and how everything works. But for now, just try to make sure that you're using the same slugs as me. Okay, so our next section is going to be featured. So I'm going to add a blank page, call it featured, move it down here. Next one is links. Okay. And then testimonials home. Blog posts. And about me. Okay, so I'm just going to move these down here, make sure they're in order. So after that, our next one is about. And this icon here means that it's an index. So what an index means is that, for example, when I click this home page, you scroll down and all these sections are pages. So here's introduction, featured, links, and all the way down. So to add a new index, I'm just going to hit this plus sign, go down to index, and call that about. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the home section, just keep adding blank pages. First one is about intro, and then travel, and Insta. And then just move those under about. Make sure you see that little line. All right, so our next link is blog. So that's a different kind of page. So if you go down under collections, you see this little icon, matches the icon in the screenshot, and it's called blog. So you're just gonna add one of those and name it blog. Oops. Okay, let's just drag that down. And that's it for primary navigation. Now I'm going to open up the secondary navigation and make sure that you add that right here instead of the same one that we've been adding these to. The difference is the links under primary navigation go to the left of your title and the links under secondary navigation go to the right. So if you added them all under primary, they would all be on the left over here. So go to secondary navigation. This first one is a folder. So I'm going to call that portfolio. And then add my 3 sections. I'm going to do weddings, elopements, and couples. All right, next one is an index, and that one's called pricing. All right, and then add my blank pages, invest, prices, what you get, let's work, and just move those under pricing. All right, and then we have another index, and this one is called contact. All right, and then add some more sections. So we have contact top, contact form, oops. So if that happens to you, just click the gear icon and change the title here. Call that FAQ. And our last one is Instagram. Okay. And then just move those. Alrighty. And that's it for secondary navigation. If you ever want to move these around, like if you wanted blog to be in secondary navigation, you would just move it over there and then probably move one of these links up to primary just so it's, 3 on each side. but you can definitely move those around between sections. Our last screenshot is called Not Linked. So I'm going to open that one. Scroll all the way down here. Make sure footer navigation is empty. Go to Not Linked. Click that plus sign. So our first three are galleries. So I'm going to go to Collections Gallery. This one is Couples. Add. All right, go back there. Add another one called Elopement. And another one called Wedding. Okay. So for these, you see they're not in the same order as the screenshot, but for this section it doesn't matter because these links do not show up anywhere, like not in your navigation. So for this one, it's okay if they're out of order. So our next one is travel dates. So I'm going to click the plus sign, click blog, call it travel dates. Go back and add another blog and call this one testimonial. Okay. All right, so that is it for all your links.